What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Football back in action this evening. We are 4 weeks into the NFL season, and we're going to dive into the week 5 slate, go through the games, talk through everything that you need to know for Rumble, for the Owners Club, for NFL all day. Let's do it. There we have it. Week 5 preview show. We do this every Thursday. So for those that have not seen the weekly routine yet, on Tuesday, usually in the morning, sometimes in the early afternoon, we do a review of the contest. So we break down all of the results from the previous week for Rumble, for TOC, and then on Thursday, we do a preview of the upcoming slate, usually talk through a little bit of the Thursday night game and how the wrinkle may potentially come into play, talk through some of the higher scoring games on the slate, and just kind of get a feel for what the good plays are, what the good games to target are, what the quarterbacks and wide receivers that we want to be stacking are. You know the deal. So let's go on ahead and get right into it. Also, before I do that, actually, make sure you check out Justin's podcast as well, the DraftKings Football Show. He just published it earlier today. Just gave it a listen myself. Lots of good info there. He talked through some of the implications of injuries with guys like Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor coming back this week. And just kind of, as always, gave the things that are top of mind for him, broke down some of the key targets for the slate this weekend, more from a DraftKings standpoint, also talked through some of the best ball portfolio and midseason best ball stuff. So check out the DraftKings Football Show with Justin. And here we go. I always like to start off by checking out the game box scores on the old Flash Challenge terminal. As you can see, this week we have another 2-week-old rank. How about Jacksonville playing in London 2 weeks in a row, huh? 2 weeks in a row, Jacksonville out in London, this time against Buffalo. Tonight, not the most exciting game tonight, but we do have Chicago versus Washington. So, not the most fantasy-friendly teams, but also, like, Justin Fields kind of went off last week, and Chicago's defense is not very good. And, the Commanders hung with my Eagles, so might be some sneaky goodness in this game. I was actually checking out the TOC marketplace earlier to just kind of get a feel for what the prices are here, sorted by the lowest ask. So you can see that you can get Washington tight end, Chicago wide receiver, pretty cheap here. I just like to look at these before the Thursday night game because I think we've seen the wrinkle certainly has an impact on not just the main event, but also on the low ball. So, as we look here, the ability to pick up a Washington tight end for 68 gold, a Washington or Chicago wide receiver for 69 gold, like, part of the beauty of being able to scoop those up before the game is that it could theoretically go either way, right? Like, Washington tight end could come out tonight and just do absolutely nothing, in which case it becomes a great card to use in your low ball lineups. Or Washington tight end could come out tonight and, I don't know, score 2 touchdowns, right? And now all of a sudden you're looking to fire that into your main event lineup or your Island of Misfit Cards lineup. And if they just have an average game, then okay, you can either choose to use them in a contest or, in the next week or two, you can try to resell them back in the marketplace and recoup the money that you spent. So I do think that it's wise to check out the marketplace prior to the Thursday game because a lot of people aren't thinking that far ahead, right? A lot of people aren't going to think about until after Washington or Chicago wide receiver does score that first touchdown. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to hit the marketplace, right? So always an advantage to be earlier than other people, to be thinking ahead just one step further than other people. And also, you never know what's going to happen in a given week, right? Like, I think that Chicago tight end was either the top scoring tight end last week or maybe second scoring tight end last week. So even cards and positions that you typically think of as not having that much upside, any given week they can get there, and taking advantage of that Thursday night wrinkle and kind of strategically preparing ahead of time before the game even starts, I think is always a prudent strategy. So again, you can check out all of that over on the Owners Club Marketplace. Also, if you missed the news earlier this week, had a couple of big updates coming on the Owners Club front. Actually, I posted an article about that as well. Update number one is that the side hustle and Island of Misfit cards going forward, you need to use at least one base tier moment. Card. Talking about TOC here, card. So at least one base tier card. You can no longer simply put in two starter cards into the side hustle and into the Island of Misfit cards, making that adjustment there. To kind of go along with that, we are going to be adding a new weekly contest. This is the Pack Party contest, where there are 10 snack packs and 10 re-rolls up for grabs. Play any 3 cards in that contest. So a new format that we are testing out there. And then number 3, we are introducing TOC snack packs, and we are releasing that with a buy one, get one free special. A TOC snack pack contains one single TOC card, any card at random that remains in the inventory. Could be any position, any city, includes jokers. You have that 80% chance of being a base moment, 20% chance of being a rare moment. The cost is 250 gold, aka $25. And for every single snack pack that gets purchased, 200 gold of that immediately goes into the prize pool. So every time you purchase a snack pack, you're building up that prize pool. And as I said, for your first one, when you buy your first snack pack, you will automatically get a second one for free. So that gives you 2 brand new cards for the cost of $25. And on top of that, with these snack packs, one fun element is that you do have the option to re-roll. So if you open up your snack pack and you don't like the card that is contained within it, you do have the option to pay 99 gold to re-roll and get an additional card. What that will do is it will take the original card, it will remove it from the ecosystem entirely, never to return, and then you will get a new, fresh snack pack with a new card to backfill that original card. So there we have it. Snack packs available. Make sure you take advantage of that buy one, get one free special. And then last, but certainly not least, excited to introduce TOC Best Ball. And this is going to be a contest with $10,000 in prizes that's going to lock in week 9. How this format works is it's very similar to our Best Ball Blitz game for anyone that is familiar with that. But instead, you use the cards directly from your TOC collection. So you take cards from your collection, you create a 12-card lineup, enter it into the Best Ball contest. It locks in week 9, and then no more weekly management from there. The contest will last for 10 weeks. Each week, we will automatically calculate your optimal 6-card score, one of each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, and then also a super flex, which can be any card. Those scores will accumulate over the season. Whoever scores the most total points will be the winner. And again, competing for a 100,000 gold, aka $10,000 prize pool. Make sure you check that out. It is not yet available or anything in the lobby, but will become available over the next couple of weeks. And you can enter this up to 10 times. So you have the opportunity to use up to 120 TOC cards in the Best Ball contest. And how this works is that once the contest locks, those cards are also gone from the ecosystem entirely. They will be removed from your collection. And once the Best Ball contest begins, you will not be able to use those cards in any of the weekly contests. So just some quick programming updates there. And then lastly, anyone that's into NBA Top Shot. I did post a little thread earlier today. On Monday this week, Top Shot released the pack marketplace, which has been kind of a much anticipated feature over there on the Top Shot platform. So I just went through, summarized kind of how it all came down, how it all came to be. It's kind of something that was hinted at for the past 2 weeks, starting with the spaces that Roham did with the first mint 2 weeks ago. So check out that thread, hit it with a like, hit it with a repost, and make sure you're following me on X at TJL5124DFS. Going to have some more of this content continuing forward. All right, back to the Week 5 NFL slate here. Like we said, we have the Chicago-Washington game, but very similarly, we've got that London game happening this Sunday, Jacksonville versus Buffalo. So definitely some shootout potential there. We got the over-under sitting at 48.5, Buffalo as 5.5 point favorites. But I mean, look, lots of strong cards in play there, right? Of course, you've got the Buffalo quarterback with Josh Allen, Buffalo wide receiver. That was a duo that absolutely went off last week. So definitely something that you want to keep your eye on there. On the Jacksonville side, you got Jacksonville quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Pretty much all the cards have the potential to be in play here. And let's see what we've got in the marketplace here from a Buffalo and Jacksonville standpoint. So yeah, better teams. So we've got better price points here. As you can see, not too many people putting up the Buffalo quarterback and wide receiver for sale, at least not cheaply. But Jacksonville quarterback, a little bit interesting there at 160 gold. Jacksonville tight end, 115 gold. And, loading up on the defenses also never a bad idea, again, when it comes to the wrinkle, just because if they do go off, you have a great chance to lock in some points there. So 2 wrinkle games again this week. Should be fun. And then we get on into the main slate. And we've got some good games on tap for this week. Some exciting games. I think one of the, I think 2 games stick out to me the most, and they both are taking place in the afternoon slate. So we've got my Philadelphia Eagles versus the Los Angeles Rams. We got a 50-point over-under there with the Eagles favored by 4.5 points on the road. Rams have been electric to start the season. It sounds like Cooper Kupp is quite possibly going to be playing this week, so it gives them even more firepower. Definitely interested in the Rams wide receiver card from a TOC standpoint. On the Philly side of the ball, A.J. Brown with a massive game last week. Jalen Hurts has not been lighting it up per se this year, but certainly always a solid quarterback option. Also, Kieran Williams on the Rams side, and even DeAndre Swift too. So 2 running backs that you can definitely go there in either Rumble or TOC. But yeah, I expect some points to certainly get put on the board in that Philadelphia-Los Angeles matchup. So that's one that I'm keeping my eye on. And then over here, we've got Kansas City and Minnesota, 52.5 over under. Kansas City also a road favorite, favored by 3.5 points, but lots of firepower in this game. Of course, you've got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce as the headliners on the Kansas City side of it. Isaiah Pacheco also with a pretty massive game last week, so could consider him in play. And then on the Minnesota side of the ball, Kirk Cousins has shown some upside this season, ability to put up some big games at the quarterback position. Justin Jefferson, of course, the consensus #1 pick coming into the season, and has been pretty solid to start off there. And this game, just in general, highest over under on the slate, certainly has that shootout potential that you are looking to target in fantasy. I'll also call out Dallas versus San Francisco, 45 over under there. So not quite as high of a total, but certainly 2 very good teams and should be a close game, close matchup. I mean, Christian McCaffrey talked about it on the review show on Tuesday, but absolutely broke open the slate last week, putting up nearly 50 points in Rumble. San Francisco running back card also coming in as the top score in TOC. And I mean, look, with San Francisco and with Dallas, like every single card is in play, right? Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, they're all in play. The Dallas defense has just been ridiculous so far this season, scoring touchdowns, going absolutely insane. Not the greatest matchup, of course, going against San Francisco, who might be the best team in the entire NFL, but who knows? All it takes is a pick six and a couple other turnovers, and they can put up a ton of fantasy points. And look, I've been big on Tony Pollard since before the season. He hasn't had the greatest start in terms of his performances, but like we said, the Dallas defense has just been weirdly scoring so many points that it's almost become a detriment to Tony Pollard. So I'm still in on the Tony Pollard train. Not the greatest matchup at San Francisco, but so explosive, plays in all situations, and I still like Tony Pollard this week. Two of the more lopsided games on the slate are Detroit at home against Carolina and Miami at home against the New York Giants. So I definitely like both the Detroit running back and the Miami running back. Of course, 2 weeks ago, Miami running backs on the TOC slate set the record, scored like 90 some TOC points, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Miami wide receiver card always in play with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Detroit wide receiver card, same thing with Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're also getting back Jameson Williams this week. So while we don't expect those games to be close in terms of the score, I still think plenty of points are going to get put on the board from the Miami and Detroit side. And look, Houston and Atlanta, only a 41.5 total, but there could be some sneaky fantasy goodness hidden in that game. Houston and CJ Stroud has definitely exceeded my expectations and pretty much everyone's expectations thus far this season. They've been able to put points on the board and kind of light things up a lot more than people were expecting on the Atlanta side. We've talked about the Atlanta running back card and about how that is one of the most valuable cards in the TOC game. Bijan, Tyler Algier. So definitely think there's some sneakiness occurring in that game. And I feel like similarly could be said about Indianapolis and Tennessee. Anthony Richardson has looked really good for the Colts. So you've got two rookie running backs in CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson that are looking NFL ready from day one. You got the return of Jonathan Taylor. So that Colts running back card gets a nice little boost there. Definitely a game that intrigues me. And then I like the Monday night game. Should be a fun one Monday night. The Raiders versus the Packers. Vegas coming in as just a 1-point favorite at home, over under a 44.5. And I kind of like this game because anything can happen, right? Like Devontae Adams has been a beast, so definitely I think having Devontae Adams in your Rumble lineup is going to be a fun thing come Monday night because you'll have that sweat. Las Vegas, and then Josh Jacobs on the running back. So I like the Vegas side of things, and then Green Bay. It's hard to know where the scoring is going to be coming from, but they've been pretty decent this year, and I feel like Jordan Love, similar to what I said with CJ Stroud, has been exceeding expectations so far this season. Has been able to put up some decent numbers. So we've got that Green Bay, Las Vegas. Honestly, the more I look at this slate, I like a lot of it. A lot of close games. Like when we're looking at the spreads here, a lot of 3 points or less games, which means we should see some games that go down to the wire. Oftentimes, closer games leads to more fantasy points just because people continue to throw the ball and continue to need the points on the board in order to win versus just kind of getting off to an early lead and then being able to run out the clock. So I think we've got an interesting setup there. All right, let's take a quick pause. Say hi to people in chat. We got Taylor, JM, Hugo, JM, Brandon, JM, Joe, JM, DJack, JM. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining the show this afternoon. If you have any questions or comments or anything that you want me to touch on, definitely let me know. But remember, everyone, we've got free Rumble every single week through week 17 this season. Make sure you are getting on in there and submitting your lineup. Put those NFL all-day moments to work. Build your 8-player lineup. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and a defense. And Rumble's been fun so far. Shout out to those that have finished in the top 100 in cash to get some fresh, dapper balance into your accounts. But make sure you head on over and you're entering the free Rumble contest every single week. And I will say it again, we appreciate when you enter because it does help us out, helps show that there is demand for this type of engagement through Rumble, that the NFL All Day community does indeed enjoy the Rumble game. The best way for us to show that is through the number of people that we get entering the contest every single week. So head on over there. Make sure you have entered your lineup if you have not done so already. And then we've got contests live in the TOC lobby. So we now have 6 contests in there with the addition of the pack party, and should see less entries in the side hustle and Island of Misfit cards as well this week, with the lack of ability to just use 2 starter cards. And if you are out there and you have not yet made your first TOC purchase, remember, you can go on and simply just purchase 1 snack pack, cheap entry point of $25. Not only does it get you that single card from the snack pack, but it gets you a second one automatically for free. And you have the ability to re-roll for 99 gold and kind of keep letting it ride until you get a card that you like. So check out the TOC lobby there. Check out the Rumble lobby. And I feel like that's about it for this show. Like to keep these short and sweet, just kind of break down the top things that are on my mind heading into the slate. As I said at the top of the show, if you're looking for more in-depth breakdowns, check out the DraftKings Football Show, hosted by my co-founder, Justin Herzig. You can simply search DraftKings Justin Herzig in any podcast store. You'll find that available to you. In the meantime, give me a follow on X at TJL5124DFS, and I'll chat with you all there and in the Discord. Enjoy the football game tonight. Enjoy the weekend. Talk soon. Peace.